Hi, I'm Non from My Authentic Style, and this channel is dedicated to helping you find your authentic style. In this video, we're going to talk about the theatrical romantic hair and makeup. Please note that this video is a follow-up to the first part where I discussed the body type and style profile, and that's also where I have the breakdown of the theatrical romantic sample wardrobe. I highly recommend that you watch that either before or after this one, but just so you have a complete picture of this body type. Theatrical romantic hair and makeup. Hair should be lavish and ornate, rounded, soft, and as full as possible. Makeup should be very polished, colorful, and watercolor soft with a touch of sparkle. Hair. Hair should be lavish and ornate, adding the extra special touch of stylization to your image identity. The shape should be rounded, soft, and as full as possible. Waves, perms, sets, teasing, and the like are all potential pluses for you. Just remember to keep the hair soft and never stiff. If your hair is long, it should be elaborate and voluminous in a very well cared for manner. If your hair is on the short side, it should look super stylized and coiffed. The cut will require some layering for curved. So here we have, in varying styles, Selena Gomez, Mila Kunis, and Salma Hayek. And what stands out to me is just the stylization of this hair. It's very glamorous, very feminine, but very much having a sense of polish to it. You could see that they took time to do their hair. I noticed the volume in Selena's hair, especially where it's long, that first image. It's shiny, it's healthy, it looks like it's soft to the touch. You could see she curled it and then brushed it out. And just that feeling of putting in a great deal of effort is great for this type. To the right of her, Mila also has that softened curve to the hair. There's curls there, but then she combed them out, but the hair is still very clean. There's no hairs out of place, and that's important for this type. She looks great. To the right of her, there's that very defined curl that Salma Hayek has on her neck, and that is also great for this type. There's certain types where that would be too ornate, but not the theatrical romantic, because these are romantic types. So the more glamorous and ornate the style, the better for them. And Selena looks wonderful. That old glamour kind of hair is great for this type. Stylized, glamorous, feminine, and she looks amazing. Avoid severe styles. So that first style for me that Selena has is very flattened, and that curve going out feels very sharp and severe on her. It lacks the softness and the roundedness and the fullness that accompanies this type. So there's just something about it that feels, it's interesting to look at, and for a dramatic sort of style, it serves that purpose, but it's not her ideal look. She looks so much better in softer hair. That same style, but softer and more rounded, suits her more, and adding more volume is just better for her. Avoid geometric cuts. Mila has that blunt cut, and to me it reads as being geometric because it looks like, she used a ruler. Very blunt, very not soft. Everything here is about softness. So when there's a movement away from that, it just takes away from them. And she looks fine. I think she again leans a little bit more towards the yang, but even for her, that edging of that haircut just feels a bit too blunt. To the right of that, again, she has curled the hair in, but it's still a very blunt cut. It doesn't feel, rather it doesn't look like it feels soft and or has movement. It looks like it's just there, and that's not great for this type. Avoid overly layered hair. So Selena, in this very long hair with those layers, it is dragging her down. This type typically requires that sense of lightness to the hair, polish and lightness. This just feels very long. It really is just there, and it's a lot, and all those layers are more suitable to a natural body type or essence. And for her, I just want to chop off that length because there's too much of it and it's pulling her down. It's just weighted. So to be avoided for most women who fall into this category. And finally, avoid wash and wear styles. So at the end, we have Jada Pinkett Smith. Again, a few things are happening. She also has that very long hair length, and that works to drag her down in the same way that it did for Selena. But what's really working against her is a lack of stylization to this hair. It I know she did a lot of work to her hair because I have an understanding of black hair and out texture. But when you look at her, it looks as though she kind of just woke up and brushed it out and then went on her way. And that feeling, that sense of wash and wear, that wash and go feeling or look is very natural leaning. And on somebody who is a theatrical romantic, it feels undone. It feels like there is a lack of glamour in that hair. And I really want to get in there and sleek it out or just make it more quote unquote polished for her. So that kind of style should be avoided. And then I want to just quickly elaborate on flat hairstyles because from what we just discussed, you could almost get the idea that theatrical romantics should always have a lot of volume in their hair. It should be rounded and big and stylized, which it's true to say that that will generally suit them well. But it's not to say that they should completely stay away from sleek hairstyles. You remember the theatrical romantic has that yang aspect to them. And depending on that person's composition, more or less. But generally speaking, they can carry off this sleek styling because that is in alignment with the yang component of their makeup. And this will be on a case by case, but Selma Hayek is a great example. Comparing the first two looks where she has the ponytail, I think the first one suits her the least. Her hair is pulled back and it's sleek, and there's a focus on her face, and you can kind of focus in on her bone structure. But because that hair doesn't have volume at the back, she looks very underwhelming. Something about it looks incomplete. In the look right next to it, exact same hairstyle, but now she's added that ponytail to add volume to it, give it a touch of glamour and elevate it, and she looks amazing. Literally just by adding that ponytail up top, now it's more dramatic on her, but not in a way that pulls away from her. It's just more lively. It looks like she is complete. She looks more harmonious with herself. And then the three looks to the right, oh, her hair is completely straight, and that sleekness doesn't work against her. It just pulls on the sharpness that she does have already in her bone structure, and she is absolutely able to pull it off. So, just something to be aware of and mindful of. Hair color. If you want to color your hair, choose shades that are rich and vibrant. You are striving for a glamorous hair color, which means intense. Browns are rich, reds are fiery, blondes are bright, and black is jet. As you gray, you'll probably want to cover it, although dramatic silver streaks can be quite theatrical if you're lucky enough to have inherited them. So the key takeaway here is that bold, intense color is great for this type, and Selma Hayek has been somebody who has played around with color quite a bit. She naturally has darker features, so when she stays closer to dark colors, that's when she really shines. And in these variations of her either jet black or chestnut or just brunette coloring, she looks amazing. But notice how each of these colors has a richness to it, and that intensity is wonderful for this type. Avoid overly pale colors except platinum. So I think it's interesting that Kibbe says except platinum because I think that just also doesn't work. I think that would depend very much on the person. Case in point, looking at Selena and also Selma Hayek, I think they are both really not flattered by this very light blonde. Selena's is very close to platinum, and both of them just look off. That coloring is way too light on them. that lack of contrast against them and that softening of the color for Salma Hayek, where it's not one solid thing that's very vivid. It just does not work at all, and they should avoid this kind of coloring. And keep in mind also that both these women are naturally dark featured. So their natural hair color is very dark. So if they could go the other way and have intense darkness, that would look great. But going this other way, the opposite way, just clashes against them. And in general, Kibbe is about enhancing what you are and recreating and harmonizing with it. So it makes sense to me that colors this far away from their natural color just doesn't work, particularly because of the body type. So if they were dramatics, this would be a different story, and a sharp contrast that would be interesting and would play into that dynamic. But for a theatrical romantic, I think they're both just very much not flattered by this. Avoid highlights that are meant to soften the hair color. Soft equals tired in this case. So again, looking at that second image of Selma Hayek, that's softening. It's a bit dark up top and then gets lighter as it moves down. Just not working. To the right of her, Selena has this brunette coloring, but there's a lot of highlights in there, a lot of golden highlights. So the color isn't solid or rich, it's very softened. And against her, it just doesn't bring out her best coloring. Something richer and more solid would be much better for her, as we've seen. Likewise, Jada Pinkett Smith to the right of her has that great hair, but that coloring, it's that honey blonde and brunette and chocolate, all of these colors mixing well to create a very subdued and gentle grading. Not ideal for this type. I would prefer her to be in jet black hair. That would look better for her, or even any of the other colors, but being solid. This is just very there, not really doing anything for her. And lastly, avoid salt and pepper hair unless the color base is very dark and the streaks are silvery white. So, here, firstly, I just want to say that Selma Hayek looks amazing and she is now having gray hair, and I think it's so lovely that she's embracing her hair. However, for this type, I will say that when I saw this image, I genuinely think, oh no, she forgot to cover her grays. It has that effect of feeling like she skipped an appointment, and it's just because the grays are still so light and they're very few. Once that becomes the basis of the hair and it's very dominant and feels more intentional, I think it'll be more harmonious with her. And right now, it just feels like she needs to go and get a touch up. So once it becomes silvery and dramatic and theatrical, it'll play into the theatrical part of the theatrical romantic. As for now, it really is pointing back to this type always needing to look like they just got out of the chair and they just did their hair and their makeup and they have that glamour to them all the time. Makeup. Makeup provides the icing for your cake and should be very polished, colorful, and watercolor soft. A touch of sparkle is always refined and sophisticated, even for daytime. An evening makeup can glitter away. Soft and bright colors should be artfully blended around the eyes, while the cheeks should be rosy and the lips glossy. A key theatrical romantic look includes sparkly eyes with a deep smudged outer lid, with bright orbital bone and colorful highlighter, dark smudged eyeliner, and lots of mascara. Soft, sparkly, and slightly rounded blush, and bright, luscious, and very glossy lips. So here we have these women just looking amazing and in different variations of that ideal theatrical romantic look. You see the glimmery lip and the bold lip. Both Selena and Salma Hayek look great wearing that bold red lip. You can see the glimmer in the eyes. You can see the mascara. They just look amazing. They're doing all of these things and it suits them so well. And then you see them in a less bold color, but there is that shimmer. So in the lip, in the eye, it's glamorous, it's feminine, it's delicate, it's soft, it's blended, nothing is harsh, and they just look amazing. Avoid overly dark shades. So In this first graphic, I don't want to argue that Salma Hayek cannot pull off this color. I think she has a darker coloring that does give her the spectrum to do so. However, the makeup itself just feels a little bit dark, and that shade to me doesn't do for her what the brighter red and then the lighter shades do. So there's a dragging down of her overall look, and in general, I would say that she would want to avoid that. Avoid heavy contouring and sharp angles, as these are too stark on you. So Selena, to the right of that, has that very precise makeup, and it just feels very intense on her. This leans more dramatic in the way that the eyeliner is done and the contouring underneath it. There's just that lack of softness and blendedness, and it reads as harsh against her. Likewise, the image to the right of that, again, very heavy handed in the makeup. So it's not that it's the lip color itself. We know she looks amazing in a red lip, but the eyes and how they are so bold that they throw the balance of that makeup off. They're too intense. So intensity is not what this type goes for. Again, this leans a little bit more dramatic than it does glamorous and romantic, and that is not harmonizing with her. Avoid neutrals or smoky makeup, very tiring and aging. So here we have Selena's, I think, one of her least flattering looks of all time, makeup wise. She has a lot going on here, but just focusing on the face, outside of the what feels like a color mismatch with her foundation, she's added too much shimmer in the eyes in a way that feels childish and heavy handed and really distracts and takes away from her. But then the rest of the face just doesn't have enough going on. And then her eyebrows also look like they're too dark. There's a lot of things really working together to create an overall confusing and not flattering look. As well, her lips have no color on them. It almost looks like she forgot to put her lipstick on or to do anything there, which she obviously didn't, but because there is no distinction, it looks incomplete and almost as though she let a child do her makeup. It has that feeling to it. It's really wildly separate from her. Avoid minimal makeup. So, Salma Hayek to the right of that. I love this look because without her makeup, you get to appreciate the natural beauty, and she looks absolutely stunning. But I will say that you notice that she's not wearing makeup. That very minimal makeup feels incomplete on her, and I have this desire to put something on and just have her be more glamorous. And in general, this will be the feeling for women within the romantic category. And finally, avoid a matte or smoky face with no sparkle or color. So this last look for me is very matte. The lipstick is one that's not shimmery. It looks as though there's no gloss on it, so just very matte. And her face in general feels that way. And that lack of sparkle and shine is creating an overall look that isn't her best. I can't pinpoint what's wrong with this, but I know that she looks better than it. And for me, it's that lack of sheen. So, sparkle around the eyes that's visible, and a gloss on the lips, important for this type, just takes it to that next level and gives them that femininity and glamour that is so synonymous with the theatrical romantic. And with that, we are complete. I would love to know again in the comments if this is your type and if you agree with my assessment. In the first part of this video that I encourage you to watch, I did go through the free sample wardrobe for the theatrical romantic. And if you would like that, I would very much love to give it to you. It is not just the sample items that I discuss in detail, but also a document that pulls together the theatrical romantic body type, the hair, the makeup, and a shopping guide. So I think it's a great document to have if this is your type, all that information in one place. If you would like to have that in your inbox, click the link in the description and follow those prompts. I hope you enjoy and I hope it is helpful to you. Thank you so much for watching till the end. I hope this video was helpful to you. If you like the content that I'm creating, or if you want to discuss anything I touched on in the video, please do so. Leave me a comment. Also, like the video and of course, subscribe and turn on those notifications. I'll see you on the next one.